Shasky. Let's go to Ryan in St. Louis real quick. Ryan in St. Louis has been waiting on
What's
hold
up,
for a while.
Shasky? What up?
What's up,
What
Ryan?
up, Shasky? What up, Bronte, man? It's Ryan from St. Louis. You know me, the Twin Empire on Twitter.
Nice.
But, yeah, man, I just want to talk about the game a little bit. I think lately, man, our philosophy with Steph in the game, I know people might not like this, is that it's changed. I think when Steph's not necessarily playing, the team has more of an inside-out mentality. We've seen that in the last 5-game win streak and also the one win streak earlier on in the season in December. Our team roster the way that it is right now presently without Andrew Wiggins, we can't play the normal way that we're used to seeing the Dubs play. We have to have that mentality to go in, get some hard buckets, play a physical brand of basketball, because just playing that finesse basketball right now doesn't necessarily work.
Nope.
And then our turnovers are so bad that athletically we don't have the guards on the wing. We don't get back on transition. A lot of people say, like, we're giving up all these threes. But when are we giving up these threes? It's when we have those careless turnovers. And when you give up careless turnovers and you give these other teams more opportunities to shoot the ball, and they get in that momentum early on in the game, that's why we see these first quarters where we're giving up 35 to 40 points. We get behind, and we're not necessarily a good enough team defensively, and we're not disciplined enough to start, to climb back. And so my thing would be for you guys, I'm asking, why don't we emphasize, whether it's Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, to not only take care of the ball more often, because Ty Jerome just had 13 assists and 0 turnovers, so it's possible, but then also say, hey, guys, let's go inside out, because that's where we see Clay be real productive. We know his numbers are dropped lately, mainly because we're not necessarily doing that anymore when it comes to ball movement and ball control. So I just want to ask you guys how y'all feel about that.
No, I would love for them to go inside out, Shasky. That's a great call, Ryan. I would love for them to go inside out. Here's the problem. When you start Looney and Draymond together, where are you going inside to? Those guys can't finish around the rim at a Looney's been better. He's been a lot better. But Draymond that's not his game, unfortunately. So, you know what was interesting without Draymond Green Friday night? And I'm not saying you don't need Draymond Green. I'm not saying that whatsoever.
It felt like the spacing was better.
But it felt like the spacing was a lot better because you played one big and you had Kuminga starting at the 4. Or you came in with Anthony Lamb at the 4 with Looney at the 5. Or JaMychal Green, who could stretch it out as well and shoot the 3. I like the one big lineup. At time, the one big lineup won you games. Remember Game 2 against Dallas? Remember the Denver series? I like the one big lineup, so you can't go inside out when you have Draymond and Looney on the floor together.
Ideally, Draymond's a 5, right? Ideally. But the problem is you can't play him at the 5 for long stretches of the regular season because you're going to wear him down. Like, that's a playoff, specific type of a thing that you want to go to.
Yep.
But when we talk about, like, the clunkiness of the spacing and then them not wanting to drive inside, it's because two defenders get to sag off and hang out, either doubling one of the other great shooters or just laying off in the rim as a help defender. Mm-hmm. And you leave someone like JJ. If JJJ doesn't have to stay tight on his man, you're basically allowing him free roam to wreck shop on everything on the inside.
No doubt. No doubt. And we see it with Anthony Davis when he plays the Warriors.
Yes.
He parks in a restricted area.
Good point.
Just go ahead, Draymond, shoot it. The spacing it's just constipated inside. It's congested inside with all the traffic because they're not respecting Draymond Green's shot. Kuminga, they're starting to respect it a little bit. They're like, you know what? We got to get out on this dude because if we give him a full head of steam, he's going to dunk on your head.
Fitz said during the broadcast he's shooting almost 40% from three-point land since January 1st.
There you go.
That's incredible.
It is really, really good. Really good.
I know. And so, like, all these people that want to, like, crush Jonathan Kuminga, I'm getting tired of it.
He's the least of my worries.
Jonathan Kuminga has been one of the consistent players on this team the last couple months.
No, he's the least of my worries.
Exactly.
To be honest with you. I like Kuminga where he's at right now with this game. Let's go to James in the city. James, what's happening?
Hey, guys, you hear me?
Everybody, James, everybody out there, we can hear you. We got you loud and clear, baby.
Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, man, the spacing is horrible. Your two weakest links are Looney and Draymond on the floor at the same time. You have no offense coming from none of those guys. Teams do not respect them. They sag off them. You got Curry, and it's a problem. You have to. Okay, let's just say, for example, if you were to trade Kevon Looney for Naz Reid, huge upgrade.
Hey, look.
Huge upgrade.
Listen, I don't want to trade Loondog. I like Loondog at his contract, but I love me some Naz Reid. Go ahead, continue.
Sick.
Go ahead, continue, James. Naz Reid is legit.
Okay. And if you were to trade Draymond Green for Dorian Finney-Smith with the Knicks. Huge upgrade. He can shoot the three ball and defend at a high level. That will fix all your problems. You get a couple of vet minimum guys, this and the third, you all right. You going into next season. Now,
go ahead,
and before you continue, this fan base would not accept a Dorian Finney-Smith for Draymond Green trade.
Oh my gosh!
I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Whether you think it's an upgrade or not, there's probably 95% of the fan base is like, what are you talking about? And I'm just being real. I'm not trying to hate on you. I'm telling you what the reaction would be.
Gotcha. I understand that. I know he's a legend. He's a legend today. I got you.
He's a statue guy. Draymond Green.
But Dorian Finney-Smith is making $12 million next year. Now you can trade Draymond Green. He opts in. He's at $27 million. You can flip him for multiple and get another player back too. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Listen,
he's gonna opt in because.
Listen, James, we're gonna get to the offseason. If the Warriors don't make any noise in the playoffs, this is going to be a fascinating offseason.
I will have a spreadsheet of transactions that I would recommend, but we're not there yet.
We're not even close to being that. And I'm not going to play that game about trade this guy, trade that guy, because, look, Draymond Green could opt in. Now, some team may say, hey, we'll take Draymond Green for a year. But it's, listen.
650, I'll drive Dre to the airport.
Well, we heard a lot of that with Ben Simmons, and we were wrong on that one. Draymond Green's a 4-time champ. We need to put some respect on his name, but if the Warriors don't do anything this postseason, it's going to be just look. We're not there yet, but just think about the offseason. If the Warriors flame out in the first round, or don't even make it past the play-in tournament, because right now they're in the box. They're in the play-in tournament. Maybe playing Oklahoma City in a 7-8 matchup, all right? And then you win. You may play Sacramento, but if you don't make it out the first round, or if you don't even make it out the play-in tournament, we could be looking at a new GM and president of basketball operations. Mm-hmm. Possibly a new head coach. There's not many NBA coaches who come back with 1 year left on their deal. Mm-hmm. Next year, Steve Kerr would be coming back. If he doesn't receive an extension, he'll be coming back on the last year of his deal. It don't expire after next season. He wants to get paid. He wants more years on that contract. So you could be without a new head coach, or you could have a new head coach, a new president of basketball operations. You may be moving on from Draymond Green. Who the heck knows what happens to Jordan Poole? Andrew Wiggins is, we haven't seen him yet, so hopefully he comes back at some point this season. There could be massive changes with this Golden State Warriors team. So let's just hope that doesn't happen. We'll get there when we get there. But boy, if they flame out early, Shasky, Warriors could look a lot different next season.
I agree with you, but there's always been a sentiment, and we do this in every sport. I don't want player X to play in any other jersey but ours. But then, if you just look at how sports works, sometimes the player still wants to play or play in a different situation, and the organization's ready to turn the page. And did I want Frank Gore to play in another uniform? No. Does that take away from Frank Gore's legacy with the 49ers?
No doubt.
Not at all. Chris Mullin, who you work with all the time, he was a Warrior lifer, all right? And then at the end of his career, he left and he tried to win a championship. And does that take away anyone's opinion of Chris Mullin?
No. I didn't even remember Mullin coming back to finish his career with the Warriors.
Yeah, in the horrible unis.
In a horrible uniform.
Yeah, and it was depressing.
It was very depressing.
Because he was wearing a uniform that was terrible.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. But that's my point. I know Dre and Clay and Steph had to stay forever. Well, the Giants did that with Buster and Craw and Belt to a degree, and people were losing their minds at the very end.
Right.
So and I've kind of asked this hypothetical question over and over and over. It's okay, you can't have it both ways.
Hypotheticals.
You can't have it both ways. You can't try to compete for championships every single year and stay loyal to people who are diminishing in terms of their abilities. At some point, the rubber has to meet the road. And this feels like one of those types of regular seasons, where I think now everything comes onto the table for fans because they're looking at Steph Curry and they're like, all right, either we're going to get another one with Steph Curry, hopefully, and maybe we tinker and make some moves, or this thing's going to crash even harder.
Well, Steph Curry's playing at an MVP level. So he's playing. There's been no drop-off with this game. Struggle Saturday night, back-to-back, the last back-to-back of the season. There will be no more back-to-backs the rest of the way. Steph Curry looks right. Klay Thompson struggled on this road trip. But Klay Thompson was carrying you up until this road trip.
I have a hard time crushing Klay right now because of how well he played for 2 and 3 months straight.
Right. And we know he's not the same defender, but that's why you have Andrew Wiggins. That's why you have
Yeah,
Andrew
it's
Wiggins
true.
and the spacing on the floor he provides. It all goes back to Draymond Green and what he wants to do. Does he want to opt in? Does he want to opt out? And how does it look? How does it look? Can you win this way in the future? I don't know.
I don't think.
I don't know.
Well, you aren't right now.
Well, and you're not wholesome, but
Even when they were wholesome,
they weren't playing well. They were not playing well.
Like, even when they were wholesome. So, look, they've been unbelievable. They've been champions. Like, Dwayne Wade is probably the greatest Miami Heat player of all time. I don't think that's a wild statement. He left.
He did.
You know? So, like, I know
He
we
came
want our
back.
guys to be our guys forever and stay with our team. And then, like, Will Clark. Will Clark bounced around.
Right.
Bounced around at the end. He played for the Cardinals. Will Clark played for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it is a little strange how we honor Will Clark. I'm not going to lie to you.
What do you mean?
Because he did leave, and he had a couple.
Well, they chose Rodney Thompson.
Yeah,
They couldn't afford him.
I understand the logistics.
No, I
of
know,
it.
but
I understand it. He bounced though.
Texas Rangers,
He bounced though. Baltimore Orioles,
and then the Cardinals.
Right,
The
exactly.
hated Cardinals.
Exactly.
And helped them get into the playoffs.
Exactly. So it's,
But we love
it's a
them
little
now.
strange.
So it's funny. What I'm getting at is, like, I feel like this is the kind of regular season that will leave a mark on fans. Like, all right, if I want Steph to win another one, I think we've got to make some wholesale changes.
There could be a lot of changes, but now that I think of it, you brought up Will Clark, and it just
What's that?
buckled my mind a little bit. Matt Williams is a giant longer, correct?
Then Will Clark, yeah, I think 9 years for him. I think Will was 8. Will was
we don't-
86 to 93. 93. Well, they're about the same.
You can make the argument that Matt Williams was a better giant.
But he didn't mean what Will Clark meant to
I
those
hear
early
that.
versions, because Matt came at a different
Yeah, he
time. He
did.
was kind of second fiddle to Will, second fiddle, third fiddle to Kevin Mitchell in '89, and then second fiddle to Bonds.
Matt Williams is all-time great.
Just go back and look at the numbers. If I told people those,
so why don't we honor Matt Williams in any type of way?
Because he has been managing for so long.
I
don't
get
think
it.
we've taken the appropriate time
Right.
to give
And
him his.
he won his World Series at the Diamondbacks, and he's been a manager for a long, long time. It just dawned on me. It's like, wow, Matt Williams, kind of just a forgotten about giant.
Oh,
save his Jeff Kidd.
Should I do
save
the
his
game?
Jeff Kidd? Save his Jeff Kidd. All right, you can play the game. We got calls here. We'll get to the calls. You are listening to 95.7 The Game. KGMZ FM at AC1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
My God,
Download the Odyssey app, your favorite 95.7 The Game for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. We don't honor Matt Williams in a way that now that I'm thinking about it,
Let me give you in a row from 1990 through 1996. 33 homers, 34 homers, 20 in the 20, 38, 43 in the strike shortened season, 23, 22. I mean, dude, this guy was unbelievable.
Is it sacrilegious to say Matt Williams is a better giant than Will Clark?
They just meant such different things.
But
I mean, he
who's
was
the
a
better
four-time
player?
All-Star.
Who?
Matt Williams.
He
In a
was a
giant
better.
uniform.
I'll say it right now, and I love Will Clark. Matt Williams is a better giant. We don't even. I don't hear anything about Matt Williams at third base.
I don't know. It's a good man. Will was that dude.
I know what Will meant.
I mean, Will was
I
that
know
dude.
what Will meant. But even when he left the Giants, 32 jacks with Cleveland. All right. He drops down to 20. Then he has 35.
I know.
And then in the twilight of his career, 12, 16, 12, 378 home runs.
He was ridiculous. Matt Williams was one of my favorite players of all time.
Career batting average 268. He was a better giant than Will Clark.
I don't know if I'm ready to say that because Will represented.
I love you,
They
Will.
were so bad in the 70s and in the 80s.
I
he comes in, they win the
It
West.
flipped the culture. I get it.
You know, like
he was polarizing.
He was, and then sliding into Jose Akendo and fighting right there. Like come on, man. Will, God, it's a tough one.
Matt had
Will had the playoff moments going back up the middle against Randy Myers. Like,
dude,
I don't know, B.
Matt Williams damn near had 100 more home runs.
I know, in a unit
than
of Giants.
Will Clark. That's insane.
And
all right.
The Will's attitude, like the Giants' attitude
I
with the
get
eye
it.
black,
Yeah.
it was him.
It was him, no doubt.
I mean, he was
Boy.
like the Ronnie Lott of the Niners. Of the Giants, excuse me.
All right. Back.
It's a great question, though.
Back to hoops.
Can we
Back
have
to
that
hoops.
discussion later on this summer?
Back to hoops. Nah, I don't need people coming at me.
No, I think it's a
about
fun
Will Clark.
one.
That was better giant.